And he said, I'm really confident in the hot temperatures here. And of course, coming from Malaysia, he's used to sweltering heat. So it's just working out perfectly for him. Let's see what he can do with it.
Yeah, well, it's all about after sun for the Rookies Cup, isn't it?
Well, that's right, after sun. And look at that, after, you know, a lot of action today, there's still a really good big crowd here. I mean, it is a massive crowd this weekend. I mean, we turned up here on Thursday evening and they were already packed in here. Yeah. Anyway, there's the grid. And someone on the grid gets a selfie, one of the guests. It's Max Chies in pole position, but only just by 0.028 of a second is Max on pole over Rico Salmello. Of course, it was Rico who was quickest in P1 and P2.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff from Maximo taking that pole position. I do love this. We got some more VIPs and people doing the grid experiences coming on the grid to now take their photos with potential MotoGP stars of the future. But there is Salmello, we mentioned in the pre-show. He will certainly want that victory here today and tomorrow after missing out last year. Yeah, that's right. He's really determined, isn't he? And he was very confident after practice. As you say, stars of the future, because, of course, it's ex-rookies that lead the World Championships in MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3. So, you know, the stars of the future, the stars of now, of those rookies who already moved on to the GP classes. There is Hakim Danish, the Malaysian, and he'll be sticking it right up the front, I think. He's super determined this weekend. Yeah, he certainly is. Danish, unfortunately, was caught up in an accident caused by Max Chies here last year. Quite a spectacular incident up at turns 3 and 4. Will be looking to stay out of trouble this time around. Danish coming into some really good form in Rookies Cup at the moment after a podium back in Jerez. Front row, even though he qualified 4th here today. Let's see how he gets on. He does, of course, replace this rider in 3rd spot. Yeah, Alvaro Carpe here was 3rd quickest, but because he exited the pit lane across a red light, he gets you know, dropped down and to the 3rd row of the grid, and the back of the 3rd row actually is back. Instead of 3rd, he's starting in 9th place. Fell victim to a similarly harsh jump start, but them's the rules. That's right. He just moved his foot forward, didn't he? That's what you know, and that's enough to say you've moved. You move your foot forward, even if the wheels don't turn. Now, there's the rules. Unfortunately, that's how it is. He'll be looking to avoid that today. Here's how they start then. Row 1 is Chies, Salmello, Danish. Row 2, Morelli, Moodley, and the other Argentinian, Valentin Peroni. Pugliese starts row 3 ahead of Carter Thompson, had a great qualifying session. Alvaro Carpe takes off from 9th. Then you've got Uriarte, 10th from Veda Pratama, and Dodo Boggio is looking far more on form this weekend, the Italian. After him, you've got Christian Daniel taking off from 13th, ahead of Kevin Farkas and Joel Pons. Shout out to Joel Pons, that's a great performance from the Spaniard recovering from shoulder injury in the off-season. Zani is 16th from 17th. Plonk, the home hero. Leo Ramastorfer 18th. Puetazan 19th. Sessler 20th. Pavalet returns from injury in 21st. Then you have Famara, Monanyane and Sullivan Mounsey rounding out row 8. The last rider from row 9 is Evan Belford. We are now getting ready to start the warm-up lap. Indeed, Matt, and you know, if you look back down the grid off the first couple of rows, I'm going to pick out qualified 11th, the Veda Pratama, because he was doing some quick laps in practice, but he lost off singular lap in qualifying to finish that high up. He finished in 11th place, as we mentioned, but as you say, could be one to watch of late, as I've got a bug landing on me in the race. Right, and just a last word for KJ Munian, the South African back on the 8th row of the grid. He missed most of the first section with a very rare technical issue, so he's playing a bit of catch-up. Of course, it's his first year in Rookies Cup, and he could have done with the track time. But anyway, coming through to start to form up on the grid for 15 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action. There is the 51 of Brian Uriarte, currently lying 6th in the points chase after a 6th and a 3rd, of course, in the 3rd podium in the 2nd race in Jerez. 16 is Joel Pons. He had 2 falls, not the race he wants to remember from Jerez.
They're understarted. Oh, there's the right out, and let's see who gets away. Max Kies makes a good start, but Hakim Danish, number 13, it is that takes up the running down to the first corner.
Yeah, after an initial good jump from Kies, he really got swamped there, but who's that coming around the outside? It's Rico Salmela, the 27, who has the whole shot, coming into turns 3 and 4, but he runs so wide, he goes for a shortcut. He'll have to recede a position there. Riders all over the track. It's
Times takes up the lead. Superb stuff.
Oh,
and there's it's not going anywhere, is Morelli. Obviously he can't restart it. What a disaster.
Oh, what happened there then? It didn't look like he was doing much wrong, but a lot of lean angle, perhaps too much corner speed, and down he went.
Anyway, that's his race, unfortunately. Wow, look at his fellow countryman, though. The 16-year-old Argentine Valentin Ferrer looking superb as he comes out onto the start and finish. He's just ahead of Ruche Moodley and the pack, but they better keep after him because don't let him break away. He's looking very, very strong up front.
And he does sit third in the championship after Jerez. He took a podium, second place in race 1. He backed it up with a solid result in race 2, but here he is leading the way as Max Kies nerfs his way through into P3 after a bit of a sluggish start.
But Brian Uriarte in second place. And a whole pack then behind.
He came from 10th, did Uriarte.
Yes.
That is a sensational start, isn't it?
Absolutely superb. And then the 83 of Alvaro Carvalho. He got off the line well, but then was rather caught up by some people with more intent on leading. But
it doesn't take long for them to dissipate. Only about half a lap or so before he starts fighting his way back through the field. It's like he has a bit of a switch in his brain of, here's real go time, I can do this. So very impressive to see him claw his way back to the front.
And no bad thing at all. Like, just give a lap or two for the tyres to get fully warm and then go for it, because that's what he's doing now. Max Kies has the advantage over fellow countryman Uriarte.
Down the back straight they come.
Shimmering
then. Look at this.
There.
Yeah, it is really
feel that this place owes them something from last time. They've got to do something. Otherwise, the leading trio are going to break away.
Give a shout out to Pugliese in 8th position. He was one of Domi's picks to look out for this weekend after a strong showing in free practice. He's just clinging on to the back of this leading group in 8th position, just behind the 13 of Hakim Danish.
Right, so Max Kies has the lead. He said in practice he was happy to run on his own. There is Rico Salmela on the 27. He's got to get on terms with that leading trio. Kies said that he was happy to run on his own. He was happy to get in the rhythm, and he would try and break away. He said, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm feeling confident. But he's got the number 51 of Brian Uriarte at the moment battling with him at every corner, and no chance really to break clear so far. 12 laps remaining.
Good recovery from Christian Daniel Jr. Really bullied down the order, so he's clearly got his elbows back out. He's got Jack Fretisand just behind him, 2 for company. The Thai rider, number 20 in 12th. Good start for him.
And that graphic is very helpful because you can see that Rico has cut that gap from half a second to just over 3/10 in just a couple of corners, and he really is closing in on that leading trio.
Did match him, but he's
perfect lap together in the qualifying. I always found somebody just in the way when I didn't need it. He said, but it didn't worry me. In the 10th place. Beautiful style. He's got a lovely style. He's very, very smooth and precise.
Got to say, Uriarte, extremely impressive for me in free practice combined. He was...
Yeah, will indeed. Okay, into that last double right-hander. It is still the 28 of Maximo Kies who has the slightest advantage over Peroni, Uriarte, Salmela and co. The 13 there of Hakim Danish, you saw in 5th place across all as Rico Salmela comes up the inside to take that 3rd place.
It can get you right at the last minute if you're not careful. It is
another faller in the back. Action again tomorrow. Yeah, he's walking, he's okay. So he'll be back in action in race 2 here tomorrow. Oh, we just lost the front.
Oh, dearie me.
Maybe the front back went earlier, but that was finally the front that got him.
Well, that's a shame for him, but the confidence is there that he was able to run with the pace, and he lost it so late, Peter. Very, very odd indeed.
Very strange, eh? Yeah. Almost as though the back end went and we didn't see it or something anyway, because yeah, to lose the front that late in the corner, very odd. Anyway, okay, back with the leader then. It is Maximo Kies, but he's gone. So Rico leads.
Strictly speaking, so Famela versus Maximo Quiles, they were only separated by under 0.2 of a second. 0.3 back in practice was Danish and Alvaro Carpe. And then after that, the likes of Veda Pratama were a full sort of half a second off Salmela. So it's a bit... Makes sense, this current order, with Quiles and Salmela out front.
Yeah, it is, but they're not breaking away, are they? Because there's Valentin Peroni, the Argentine, goes underneath, and in fact, you can see how they muck each other up, because they just gave Rico a couple of bike lengths lead there, going out of that corner and away up underneath the Dunlop Bridge.
Uriarte and his fairly close mate Alvaro Carpe dueling it out through turn 6 there, with Danish looking to capitalise on that.
It's over Rico Salmela.
He wins here in Le Mans. Brilliant stuff.
Absolutely superb stuff. And what will Rico have to say about that?
Unfortunately, Max just got him. He was sitting behind him for quite a while, learning where he's good, where he needs to make a move. It looks like Rico had the better of him in the final sector, but apparently not. Maximo learned, he applied it, and he took the win.
Yeah, and my money was on Uriarte there, but he crossed the line 5th. He made the mistake.